Hello everybody. Welcome to the Bit-Size Stories channel. If you like the stories, please consider to like, subscribe and comment down below. Would help me a ton. Under Fendral's careful tutelage, Elara's magical abilities flourished. They spent hours each day practicing various spells and incantations. Fendrel would demonstrate the correct gestures and incantations, and then Elara would attempt to replicate them. He was impressed by her natural talent and dedication, and couldn't help but commend her efforts. "Elara, your progress is remarkable," Fendrel said, a glimmer of pride in his eyes. "You have a gift, and with every passing day, you grow stronger." Elara blushed, grateful for Fendral's encouragement. "Thank you, Master Fendrel. I owe it all to your patient guidance." As evening descended upon Elara's village, the group gathered around a crackling fire in the inn's common room. The atmosphere was tense, but they knew they needed to discuss their next steps. Lirith broke the silence. "Elara, your progress has been remarkable, but we cannot overlook the dangers we face. The cave may hold clues about the source of these demonic creatures." Thrain nodded, his face serious. "We didn't have the chance to thoroughly investigate last time." Elara looked at Fendrel. "I'm ready to go back and find out what we missed. Maybe there's a way to stop these creatures from spreading." Fendrel interjected gently, "As much as I wish to join you, my dear Elara, I must remain here. My injuries from the last encounter have taken their toll, and I cannot risk slowing you down." Elara's heart sank, but she understood the gravity of Fendral's condition. "I will miss you, Master Fendrel. Please take care of yourself." "I will, my dear. And I will be here, eagerly awaiting your return," Fendrel said warmly. As the group prepared for the journey the next day, Elara went to the inn to wake up Fendrel, but to her surprise, he was already awake, sitting quietly with a warm cup of tea. "You're up early, Master Fendrel," Elara said softly. Fendrel smiled at her. "I wanted to see you off before you set out on this quest. Remember, Elara, you have the potential to become a great mage. Trust in your abilities and in yourself." Elara nodded. "Thank you, Master Fendrel. Your trust in me means a lot." With a final embrace, Elara joined Lirith and Thrain outside the inn, and the three set off for the cave. The cave loomed ahead, and as they entered, a sense of foreboding washed over them. Elara felt Fendral's absence keenly, but she knew she had to be strong. As they ventured deeper, they stumbled upon remnants of the previous battle, broken arrows, scorch marks, and remnants of the twisted animals. Liritha's keen senses picked up on lingering traces of miasma. "Be careful, Elara. We don't know what else might be lurking in these shadows," Lirith warned, her keen eyes scanning the surroundings. Elara nodded, clutching her staff tightly. "I'm ready. We can do this." Finally they came across a grotesque lump of cursed flesh. A remnant of the boss they had fought before. Elara's face twisted in disgust as she looked at it. "Ugh, what is this foul thing?" "It's even worse than I remember," Elara said, her voice filled with disdain. Lirith placed a hand on her shoulder. "It's the remnants of that vile creature." Elara. Feeling a surge of anger and determination, Elara channeled the arcane energy within her and cast a powerful magical blast at the cursed flesh. The blast obliterated the flesh, leaving behind a small, strange object. Thrain, ever curious, moved to examine it. But Lirith jumped forward and stopped his hand before he could reach it. "Thrain, don't touch that. It's too dangerous," Lirith warned, her eyes narrowed in concern. Thrain withdrew his hand cautiously. "You're right, Lirith. We shouldn't take any chances." He rummaged through his backpack and found a pair of tongs along with a small case that contained some nuts and bolts. He emptied the case and used the tongs to carefully pick up the mysterious object, placing it inside the box. What should we do with it now? Elara asked. Uncertainty evident in her voice. Lirith thought for a moment. We should take it back to the village and let Fendrel investigate it. He may have some insight into what this is and how to deal with it. Thrain nodded in agreement. Agreed. Let's not take any chances by leaving it here. With the object safely secured in the small case, the group continued their journey back to Elara's village. However, as they traveled, both Elara and Lirith started to feel sick and weak, as if something was draining their energy. I don't feel well, Elara murmured, her face pale. Lirith nodded, her voice strained. Me neither. I fear that object's miasma is affecting us. Thrain quickened his pace. We need to get back as soon as possible. It feels like something is pulling at my very essence, Lirith said. Her hand clutching her chest. Elara nodded, her brow furrowed in concern. I hope Fendrel can figure out how to counteract this effect. Finally, they arrived back at Elara's village, and they wasted no time in seeking out Fendrel. They rushed to the inn, where Fendrel was waiting. His eyes widening with concern as he saw the state of Elara and Lirith. What happened? You look exhausted. Fendrel exclaimed. We found something in the cave, an object with powerful demonic energy. And it's affecting us, Elara explained, her voice weak. Fendrel's face darkened with worry, but he remained calm. Bring it to me. Let me see if I can help. Fendrel carefully examined the strange object. We'll need to be cautious, Fendrel said, addressing Lirith and Elara. Go inside the inn and rest. I'll stay here with Thrain and keep an eye on the box. We'll need to contain its malevolence before it causes any more harm, Fendrel said, his mind already racing with possibilities. Lirith nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. Be careful, both of you, she said. Her voice filled with concern, as she and Elara made their way to the inn. Once they were alone, Fendrel couldn't shake the strange feeling that had washed over him. He sensed the group approaching even before they arrived. The leftover miasma in his body from his injury seemed to react to the object's presence. The realization that he felt revitalized, as if his injuries had never occurred, filled him with both hope and fear. He didn't want the others to worry about him, so he kept this newfound vitality a secret. Thrain went to sleep as well. Fendrel's mind was racing with possibilities and concerns. He knew that he had to find a way to contain its malevolence before it caused any more harm. As the night fell, Fendrel found himself deep in thought, seated in a quiet corner of the inn's dining room. The object's strange effect on Lirith and Elara, and even himself, occupied his mind. Suddenly, an idea sparked within him. Of course, he whispered to himself, realizing the pattern. The object's foul energy affects those with a significant amount of magic within them. Excited to share his discovery, Fendrel rushed to wake up the rest of the group. Liritha's eyes widened with surprise as he explained his findings. That makes sense, she mused, deep in thought. It must be attracted to strong magical energies. Elara, still half asleep, tried to comprehend the information. Wait, you mean it's targeting us because of our magic? She uttered fearfully. Fendrel nodded, his expression serious. Yes, precisely. We need to be careful and stay vigilant. Why am I feeling fine then? Thrain asked. We dwarves have magic in us as well. We use it to find minerals and infusing it to our weapons and armors. Thrain, you see, dwarves have a natural attunement to earth magic, he began, his voice filled with knowledge. This connection also grants you some innate protection against certain magical influences. Thrain listened intently as Fendrel continued, the way magical energy circulates through a dwarf's body is different from that of other races. It forms a sort of barrier that shields you from external magical influences, like the malevolence emanating from this object. He cautioned Thrain, however, even though you have this resistance, it doesn't make you immune to the object's effects. If you were to remain in close proximity to it for an extended period, it could still start affecting you. Thrain nodded, appreciating the explanation. I'll keep my distance then, he said, understanding the importance of the matter. If you, for example, swallowed the object, it would start to affect you the same as the rest of us, Fendrel said. Or even worse, would start to change you. Lirith found it strange. All living beings naturally avoid demonic energy, she said. So something, or someone, would have to forcefully feed the object to it. The weight of the realization fell on the group. They knew something was up, but this could be even bigger than they expected. As if somebody used the cave for experimentation, Fendrel added. He looked at Elara with concerning eyes as he continued. And picked the place precisely because it was remote enough location, so it will take time till somebody notice it, but still had enough presence of humans and wildlife around. Thrain's face twisted with disgust. Lirith looked at Elara with teary eyes. Elara herself was shocked. You mean somebody chose mine and other villages as feeding ground for the beasts? Elara yelled in anger. How? How could they? Her voice finally broke as the memories of her parents flooded her mind. Lirith embraced Elara in warm hug. Fendrel placed his hand on her shoulder, trying to comfort her. I promise you, my dear, that I will not rest until I find the source of this, he said with strong voice. I promise. That was the end of our story. If you liked the story, please consider to like, subscribe and comment down below. See you at the next one. Goodbye.